you're fortunate enough to have a pool, unless you're wealthy enough to like pay somebody to take care of your pool for you, you have to learn how to do that yourself. And what I tell people, having had a pool for 5 years to maintain and do all the things with, imagine just waking up every day and having somebody kick you square in the nuts. Like that's what it's like owning a pool. Like you put so much effort into trying to keep the damn thing clean and the water clear, and you're cleaning the filters out and recirculating the pumps and adding chemicals and checking the water balances and all that shit. And the thing is that's what you're fighting, right? Is algae.
So I think we had some echo there because I had our new cameras with audio.
Oh,
on.
they were still having audio.
I think they're off now, though.
We got new toys.
Yeah, we got new toys.
Sorry about that, y'all.
Yeah.
But you were telling us that they're fighting algae. That's what you treat them with, right?
That's the thing is that when they painted that thing blue, I remember we were looking at having a new liner put in our pool, and I talked with I had conversation with a pool guy about that, and I thought it would be really cool to put a dark colored liner in the pool because it would look really sharp, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that was what they said was, well, unless you're planning on like using 3 times as much chlorine,
don't do that.
Don't do that because that produces like the perfect color of blue light that it's like putting algae under a grow lamp, basically.
That's what they did.
And that's exactly what they did. And I don't know if people realize this, like the reflecting pool is only at its deepest point. It's got kind of a channel that runs down to a drain in the middle. At its deepest point, it's 30 inches deep. Like it's a shallow pool. It's 18 inches at the edge. The whole thing holds 6.7 million gallons of water.
Yeah. I remember Jenny came, Forrest Gump. Jenny!
Yeah, she walked across
Yeah,
it.
she walked all the way across it, yeah.
So, I mean, it's not that deep. You're talking about shallow water. It was hot here last week. That weather moved east. It was hot in Washington, D.C. When they renovated that in 2012, they turned it over to where it was no longer totally running on municipal water. It pulled water in from the tidal basin.
Nice.
So that's nutrient-rich
with
water
algae. With
being
algae.
brought in.
Yeah.
On top of that, sitting in that shallow water, and it doesn't circulate like a normal pool. It just basically continues to recirculate from one end of the pool to the other. But it does it at a much lower ratio than what a common swimming pool does, and they don't treat it with chemicals. So, yeah, you add those things all together, you're going to get algae to grow in there.
So, just a quick update because I fixed both the audio echo and the YouTube stream. So, just a heads up on that. Sorry, back to what you were saying.
The YouTube stream was broken too?
Yeah, the YouTube stream was broken, and we had an
Good
audio
times.
echo.
Good times.
New
Telling our
toys.
producers.
All on
learning.
it.
We call that learning here.
Learning on the fly.
Yeah.
Building the airplane as it runs down the runway.
I guess
The joys of live technology.
Yes.
Some
But,
people call it sad. We call it learning.
I would also just like to thank everybody in the comments section who made us aware of this
They
issue.
were brutal to you.
I
See that?
believe it's
They were
all fixed.
mean.
So hit me hard if it's not.
Jessica was on there like, guys, come on, fix it. What are you doing?
Get your shit together.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Kristen was a little nicer. Thanks, Kristen. Sorry, guys. You guys are all awesome. Yeah. All right. So we now have a nice science background. I had no idea any about that with the reflecting pool. We've all sort of become experts over the last couple weeks, really, but you knew it anyway because you've done pools for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who's done that knows that like it doesn't take much to get algae to grow. Like if your pump in your home pool fails, you'll know within 24 hours.
Yeah.
Like you'll just know that. And so they do this, like they create the perfect breeding ground for algae. And then the solution is let's go out and have guys pouring 1-gallon bottles of hydrogen peroxide into the water. Okay, it's 6.7 billion gallons. It's 2,000 plus feet long, and it's like almost 200 feet wide.
As we know, it's bigger than most skyscrapers,
Right,
Because of his stupid fucking.
It would be the
sign that
biggest
he held up.
skyscraper.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing that I learned about dealing with a pool is the more contaminants that you have in the pool. What chlorine does is it basically like eats the microbe, and then it goes through a chemical reaction and it breaks itself down.
Mm-hmm.
And so things like sunlight, heat, and then depending upon the contaminant load in the pool eats up all your free chlorine. So by them putting that hydrogen peroxide in there, the amount that they were putting in there was so minimal to begin with anyway for the amount of water that they were treating that the sunlight alone probably neutralized it immediately.
Right. And my understanding too is you have to continuously treat, so that'll work for like a week.
Well,
And then if it even works, if it had enough,
right?
If they had enough to make it work.
I mean, when I would open my pool in the spring, like I would have to dump pool shock, which is like chlorine on steroids in there for 3 or 4 days straight to get it to clear up. So
Lord.
You're talking about a pool that size and all the other things that are making it worse. You know, the color of the bottom, the stagnant hot water. I mean, I'd love to know
the
what the
pedophile in
actual water
office.
temperature of that is. Yeah.
Did you guys notice that not only that, but if you took a shot of the pool but went just a little bit back from it, you saw the grass change as well? Did you see that they had written new numbers? Somebody had gone and made 86, 87,
86,
47. Yeah, 86,
You can't
47.
say that anymore.
I'm allowed to.
That'll
Pursue
get
it
you
to your
indicted.
Agreement with the government.
Supposedly, yeah. Supposedly,
It'll get you indicted.
I've already been there. I just got out.
Well, my favorite thing about that is they painted over that with turf paint to try and cover it up, and all it did was make it like more.
It
like
accentuated it.
Yeah,
the contrast more significant. But it goes right along with the fact that like we had, I mean the White House is practically a double wide at this point. I mean we had the backyard wrestling match the other night.
Brought to you by Brondo
And we got
Bud Light.
the algae filled pool in the backyard. So
yeah. Here's the thing about it. Okay,
Fuck it. Let's do it live.
I actually don't mind any of that. I don't think that's worth news. Like, oh no, there's algae in the reflecting. I don't give a shit.
Here
Right?
comes
there was algae in it. It's always been an issue.
Yeah, and there's algae in the Potomac right next door. Right? Like it's,
That's the thing.
But this
I don't
was,
care.
But this
Like,
this was the whole reason that Trump painted it blue.
that's what I care about. That's what I care about. Is it's image. It's all about image, and it's the wrong kind of image.
This wasn't a thing. No one was making a stink about
No.
this until Trump decided to make a stink about
Right,
it.
which I think is
because-
just distraction politics.
Well,
I think that's what he was trying to do.
Well,
I don't
it was
think
because
it really mattered.
It was because the whole idea of like Doge, and here's the thing, Mike. This is why he made it a thing. Was years ago, Biden, and before Biden, Obama proposed, "Hey, we're gonna fix this fucking thing." And in order to fix it, we're going to have to like update the filtration system. We're going to have to fix some piping. We're going to have to resurface some of it, if not all of it, because it's like limestone and granite, right? Which is not known for being watertight.
See, I'm already bored. I don't care.
Right, I know, but
I don't
this is
care.
like the liberal problem, right? Is because once you, like the liberal position, you have to actually explain, and you can't fit it on a
Right.
bumper sticker. I say this all the time. But anyway, the problem is Obama had a plan, Biden had a plan, and it was like $400 million because it involved like actually fixing the problem. You had to fix the filtration system. You had to fix the foundation. You had to fix the materials. You can't just paint over it like a fucking slumlord and call it good.
Right.
That is the thing. But nobody made it a big deal when Obama wanted to do it or when Biden wanted to do it. It became a thing when Trump wanted to do it because he wanted to say, "Oh, I can fix the thing that you said would cost $400 million and it would take 2 years, and I can fix it in 2 weeks with $2 million.
Right.
I'm gonna call my pool guy. Watch me.
My
Hold
pool
beer.
guy did it down in Mar-a-Lago. I can do it here too.
Hold my Brondo.
Yeah, pretty much. But even then, aside from the fact that there's so many similarities to the movie, so many similarities to the movie, including what happened on the White House lawn. But I don't care. Like White House presidents have done this shit forever. Maybe not quite at that scale where they have a freaking motorcycle guy leaping over a thing, but like, oh well, an MMA fight. I don't care. MMA is popular.
It would have been a lot better if they had a motorcycle guy through a ring of fire.
That'd have been awesome. He
Yeah.
sort of did. One leaped it though.
Was there a motorcycle?
Yeah, there's a
guy
motorcycle
through
that
a
leaped it.
thing?
He did the whole whatever that guy's name is.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I don't.
over the whole damn thing.
I
Here's
can't
the thing.
afford cable.
But
Mike.
hold on. I don't care that it happened because some presidents have a big ass bunny on the lot and then finding freaking eggs. I don't care. Like it's
Right.
they do shitty weird things. Presidents do on. It's America. We do crazy things. What I don't like though is the complete disrespect they have for our military.
Yeah.
They used our military, flyover jets, brass trumpets, the whole 9 yards that we normally reserve for freaking generals or for people who are being honored for something. And they did that for MMA fighters.
And this was 3 weeks out from July 4th, so I don't want to hear some shit about this was for July 4th. This was for this asshole's birthday.
Oh, 100%. He's done it every time.
This is all
done
on
it
his
every time.
birthday.
He has a birthday present.
Yeah.
That's what I was just gonna say. I don't hate UFC. I've watched UFC fights myself.
I don't mind MMA stuff, UFC stuff.
But here you had something that was it turned into a Trump rally.
100%.
We had I don't remember how to say his name. Is it Jake Locut, the guy that won?
I have no fucking idea, man.
I'd
Is
he the one that shouted about Michelle?
Yeah,
Michelle Obama being a man.
Yeah. I mean that was pure.
I did
That
hear
was
about
pure
that.
pandering to Trump in that base.
100%.
100% it was. And that was, and the other thing was I honest to God thought this thing was on Saturday night, because UFC fights are usually on Saturday night,
Not Sundays.
no. And they did it on Sunday at a
Because
risk.
that's when his birthday is.
At a
man.
risk to UFC to lose
Viewership.
viewers.
Right.
And
because
they,
it's on a Sunday night.
they did. Did you
Yeah.
see what's the guy's name is in charge of all that shit?
Dana White.
Dana White. He came out and said they'll never do it again because they spent $60 million on this thing and only made 30 back.
He shouldn't have done it in the first place. All the blowback he was getting trolled nonstop
Yeah.
on social media. Everybody on the goddamn planet was like, "This is the dumbest thing you've ever fucking done. What are you doing?"
Yeah, I agree. What I didn't like about the thing too is it was just pandering nonstop. But to your point, but it was also blatant corruption. Like commercials were all about
wait.
Trump coin and shit like that.
Did you see the text thread between Eric Trump and
I heard
one of the
about that.
one of the broadcasters?
Didn't he ask him if there's like cheating going on or something? Who do I bet on?
He straight up asked, like, "Hey, do you know if any of the fighters are injured tonight, or if any of these fights are rigged?" And he was like texting one of the UFC broadcasters who was a former UFC fighter, and is like, "This is like texting Chip Carey and being like, hey," if you're a Cardinals fan, he's a broadcaster for the St. Louis Cardinals,
thank you.
and being like, "Hey." Is like, who's out in the lineup, right? I need to put my bets in on who's going to make a hit today.
Right.
Who didn't get a good night's
It's
sleep
cheating.
last night?
It's cheating
Straight up cheating.
against other people who are making legal bets.
He actually, Eric Trump, in a text to this UFC broadcaster, used the words, "Are any of these fights rigged?"
Did he place a bet?
I don't fucking know. I don't know.
Legal shit right there.
Right. But that's what I'm talking about here is this whole family and this whole administration are just grifting, corrupt assholes.
Oh, 100%.
That's all they are. They're all about, how do I make a quick buck?
Well, when was this? This was supposed to be free on CBS.
It wasn't.
No, you had to pay.
You had to pay a subscription and get
Paramount Plus.
Yep.
Yep. That wasn't what we originally told.
it. Nope.
That's the part I don't like about the whole thing. It did not invite Americans in.
Right. It wasn't on C-SPAN.
Right. It was a pay to play situation on a channel you had to have a subscription to if you
Yep.
happen to have it.
Yep.
But used public goods. He says everything's paid for by private people, like the ballroom, not paid for by private. Like I guarantee
Did
U.S.
you
money
see
got spent on this.
The ballroom cost has gone up another $200 million.
Well, and that's the other part of this too, is this gave him another opportunity to plug the ballroom. And you won't convince me until I see hard legal documents from this case that the supposed thwarted drone attack is real.
they put out a picture of the
What
guy,
now?
and he was like an 18-year-old like
Wait,
kid.
drone attack?
Yeah, the FBI came out with a big statement and said they thwarted this big attack on the White House that was supposed to happen on
During the
Sunday.
MMA fight.
Yeah, during Trumpy's birthday.
So they're using that as and I there's no doubt it's deflection, because every time he went to Madison Square Garden, we talked about that, and now this, he continues to go out to these large scale public events, but then argues that he needs this $1 billion ballroom.
Right. Which he absolutely does not.
Well, this brings me to our next segment.
We got another segment. What do we got?
What we do, it's the criminal mastermind in the room.
Oh, that part. I don't think we're bringing that up publicly.
The algae kingpin?
Yes.
Well, he's on the run. He's wanted for 17.
We've told people where we record at, where we live. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you United States algae kingpin. Jacob Dodds. Aren't they looking for you? This is FBI
now.
looking for you right now?
Right now.
I mean, see, the BFBE, was that what it said in the back of that one? Or AI, the Banana Federal
AI.
Bureau of Energy? Is that what it is?
Brought to you by AI. Yeah.
Yes. They're looking for you.
Yeah, it was me. I I flew out to DC in the dark of night, right before the MMA fight. Actually,
Why everyone was distracted? You went out there and
I went out there and
pissed in the reflecting pool.
Well, it just
turned to green.
It just took a little syringe of
Just a
microbes.
syringe? That's it? That's all it took? You didn't have a truck? I saw multiple MAGA commenters, including some on our page, that said there were videos of truckloads of algae being dumped into the reflecting pool. Videos.
Yeah, well,
Videos.
It took me about 60 seconds to create an AI image of a truck with a Brondo logo.
Yes.
Right.
Dumping it into
It took me like
that was posted to our page. So
45 seconds to make this.
This one right there. Oh, beautiful. Look at that one. Are they testing it? Or are they putting it in?
It doesn't
I don't know what he
matter.
just did there. He poured it out and it disappeared.
No, but then he goes back in with his ladle. Oh,
with a tiny ladle. Look at that. It's like they dropped his phone in there. Something happened there.
RFK's back there swimming somewhere.
Yep. With his dead raccoon.
Here we are. Welcome to America 2026.
It is just like Idiocracy.
It is.
It's eerily similar. It's almost like they use that as their textbook. It was that
Okay, here.
Project 2020. What is it?
Yeah,
5?
Project 2025. Here's a
It
question.
was really Idiocracy.
Because these assholes have mentioned this in the past. Was the over-under on them actually keeping up that cage match fight arena in the backyard? Because Trump said, I think I might keep it up permanently.
Oh, it's gone now.
It's already down?
Oh, yeah, they took it down, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's gone. They're already starting to work on rebuilding the lawn because the lawn got damaged,
Well,
obviously.
yeah, of course.
But I'm not going to criticize them for that because that has happened with other events that have been held on the South Lawn. But yeah, they're already.
I was kind of hoping that it would be there through the midterm so we could point and laugh at it.
Well, I think all the workers, they took it down so they could sell it because they're not going to get paid by Trump.
Oh,
I think that's how we're going to elect presidents in the future. Is it's just
Cage
going to be a
match.
cage fight between the candidates.
Oh God, please! We can get rid of all the 80-year-olds.
I'm kind of looking forward to this. Yeah.
Yeah, thank God. I'd be all for that. Think about that, like Grassley going up against somebody. Like, so finally, term limits. That's how you do term limits. It's MMA fights.
That's just rude, Mike.
Oh my God! It's RFK Jr. with the steel chair. He's broken in half.
Too much.
Trial by fire. Kristen Lampy says.
Well,
trial by fire.
No, I think that's all
reference to our
Mike's.
technical difficulties.
Oh, is that what it was? I thought it was like that's how you select presidents. I'm looking back 13 minutes ago. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, that's in reference to our echoes. Yeah.
That would have been good. The trial by fire too.
Yeah.
See what they pull off. I'll tell you what. I am. Oh, here. Speaking of,
Uh-oh.
I just want to point this out. This is tea. I'm drinking tea tonight.
Is this a product placement? Because
No.
we're gonna get in trouble here, Mike.
No product. It is Pure Leaf,
Okay.
real brew tea. It's brewed. At least I got that part. Because my beer was in that fridge right over there.
Uh-oh. Oh, I know where this is going.
Carrie from Mount Pleasant
Uh-oh.
somehow made her way into our studio and took out my beer. It's gone. Didn't take it out. I think she drank it.
I can neither confirm nor deny that this is happening.
What's your wife's name again, Kellen? I can't remember.
Kari?
Somebody from Mount Pleasant. Can't remember. Thank you, Carrie, if you're listening. She usually is. I don't know if she is tonight. We're a little earlier. Someone drank my beer.
Carrie's not very happy with me right now. We had a flood in our basement tonight. Yeah.
How much did you leave?
Well, she doesn't believe me, but there was 1.5 inches of water across the entire basement. And when I left, there were dry spots with a few puddles.
Do you need a shovel? I think you're going to keep digging yourself a little deeper here.
Carrie has
More
the
to
shovel
talk.
right
Okay.
now and is working.
Might be walking over here right now with that shovel.
Yes.
Hi, Carrie from Mount Pleasant. Thank you. Maybe she'll get me a 6-pack on the
Maybe,
way. That'd be awesome.
maybe she'll replace that cider, or you might not see me again.
Yeah.
She has relatives with lots of acreage.
Speaking of going back on vows, let's talk about the Iran deal. That is not a deal. That is a deal.
Perfect
That isn't a
segue,
deal.
Mike.
Do you
Perfect
like that?
segue.
You
I
like that?
That
It's
was
a
good.
memorandum of understanding.
Which is
MOU.
exactly how I would describe my relationship with my wife at this very moment. Yes.
We love you, Carrie. You're amazing.
Yes, I love you, Carrie.
He was talking all good things about you before we started. I promise. It was all good.
Anyway,
He has no shoes on right now.
I
just so
do
you
not
know.
have shoes, and my shoes are soaking wet over there because I was definitely not slopping around in the wet basement. Anyway, memo of understanding in Iran. may or may not be signed on Friday because Trump, I don't know if you guys saw this. I definitely messaged you guys both this morning. He's on a trip in France for the G7, I believe. And he said some really stupid shit about
He like stroked
Duh.
out over there.
he had some problems over there, but he said some particularly stupid shit about the Iran deal and how it wasn't finalized and how if he doesn't like it, he's going to start bombing the shit out of Iran. He said something like, "We're going to drop bombs right on their face if I don't like it and they don't behave and it's not exactly what I want." What I read in all of that and his little rant at the G7 was this. He didn't know what he signed. He doesn't know what's in it. He signed something because he knows he's in such hot water and everyone's giving him such shit and that this is such a huge problem in June heading into the November midterms that he was willing to sign a bad deal. And he signed on the dotted line not understanding what was in it. That's
think
what
that's
I read.
pretty
out of all
clear.
Well,
that.
the only thing is apparently he's not the one that signed it. JD Vance is the one that signed it.
Well,
because he negotiated the deal, so if it's a bad deal, it's on him.
But here's the problem with all this is we don't even fucking know because they won't tell us any of this, right?
Right.
So if you're proud of a deal and you have a good deal, you tell the goddamn world, I have this awesome deal. Read what I did. I'm so amazing, right? They won't tell us what's in it. They won't tell us what's in it. I read conflicting reports. I see some reports that say Trump and Vance digitally signed this.
I thought he didn't like using
like
things like AutoPen, digital.
Adobe Acrobat. I don't know. Like what the fuck? So Trump and Vance apparently digitally signed this with the Prime Minister of Iran, and Trump has no idea what's in it. That's the takeaway here. And there was earlier today, maybe 5 or 6 hours ago. At this point, it's 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. About 5 or 6 hours ago, you had anonymous State Department employees that came out and like dictated the MOU to the press. Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
That was a thing. Anonymous government employees came out and read it because there's been such a shitstorm in the media about this because they made such a big deal on Sunday to say, we've signed a deal, peace is here, Strait is open, everybody's happy, it's the best and biggest and beautifulest thing you've ever seen. And then nobody saw the text.
Well, I think
Right.
the big issue is the amount of money that we're giving Iran.
That's the thing. So that was what the state employees made sure to put a note on was there's a $300 billion repatriation fund.
Which on that note, Trump actually told the truth this weekend.
What?
He put out a True Social post that said the $300 million payment to Iran is fake news. It is fake news because it's not 300 million. It is, you remove the M, replace it with a B.
Correct.
It's
So we actually
$300
told the
billion
truth.
dollars.
A lot of people don't know, Jacob, that billion has a B in it, you know, as
they
he
don't.
says about dumb.
They don't.
Yeah.
It's pathetic at this point. There's no other. It's just pathetic.
So, you know,
There you go.
I-
He had to go get his beer.
yeah, I had to go get a beer. Sorry.
I would do that too, but I don't have any of my beers in there.
Because Carrie from Mount
It's Carrie
Pleasant.
from Mount Pleasant.
Yeah.
You're in such deep shit when you get home.
Oh, big time.
Yep.
We'll just ignore that. So I don't get. Here's what I think is going on here. Let me give you my theory. There are a lot of times in politics, in normal times in politics, if you ever watch like The West Wing or any of those like real serious, honest political shows, a lot of it's dramatized, right? But you can get a feel for what happens in the White House. And you'll see this going on in those shows. And this does go on. We talked a little bit about this last week with JFK and his Addison's disease. There are things the White House tries to cover up. There are things the White House tries to keep under wraps. And then there are other times where the White House, even in normal administrations, will float ideas, right? I see this happen, well, not in the last 10 years, it's been a little different because we're in such wild times. But prior to 10 years ago, a White House would routinely float, especially around Supreme Court picks, they would float the list and they would say, here are the 5 names that are on the short list for Supreme Court nod, right? You would see this all the time. Used to, right? This was a normal part of politics. And they would do this around different things, not just Supreme Court nods, but that's a really good example. Is the White House would put out a list and say, here are the 5 people we're considering. And they would just try to, okay, put that out to their pundits, put that out to their talking heads, put that out to their supporters, and then see what the reaction is, right? See what the public says. Is there a huge backlash to one person or the other being on that list? And then they'd use that feedback in terms of deciding who they're going to nominate, right? And I wonder if what we're seeing right now isn't a version of that.
With what information?
In particular, the $300 billion. Because they know that $300 billion number is exponentially larger than what Obama had to pay. And he had a nuclear agreement as part of his deal that it also involved the IAEA.
The other important thing
inspections
is
and like
the money that was given to Iran and that deal was not, it wasn't like that came out of our treasury. Those were assets that had been frozen, Iranian assets that had been frozen that were unfrozen and returned to them.
right.
So not taxpayer dollars? Is that what you're saying?
But the $300 billion that's being given to them, that's literally a reconstruction fund.
Yeah.
I mean, not only did we spend billions of dollars firing hundreds of cruise missiles at them,
At least 50 million from
now we're
any-
gonna pay to rebuild everything we blew up.
at least 50 billion from any you wrap up like aircrafts destroyed, munitions used, time spent just parked on the Strait of Hormuz, all of that. It's north of 50 billion just to do that, plus the 13 dead service members, 168 dead school children,
right?
The thousands of dead in Iran and throughout the Middle East and other areas as well. And all we got was the strait reopened, and we're back to where we were. Right.
He got close, yeah.
And we're back to where we were on February 27th.
With less money.
Stupid fucking war. With less money.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
It's pathetic.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Part of the deal.
The shard of the deal.
Shart of the deal. Yeah. It's bad. So there's a book coming out, evidently. I don't know how much truth is in this, but one of the headlines this week is that there's a couple authors, journalists that got a hold of tapes from a cabinet member.
Oh, Lordy, let there be tapes.
Yeah, supposedly. And I think the book comes out on Friday. And I know you always get these things. People put this shit out, so you never quite know how true it is. But it is of a gathering in the Situation Room where all the names, all the big dogs, including JD and Trump himself, gathered in the Situation Room to discuss how to bury the Epstein files.
Is this the Nipplegate story? Are we heading that direction?
No idea. Is that Nipplegate? We call that Nipplegate?
Yeah. So
is that the term?
So
I want to know how much validity there is this of you have seen, because I guarantee you've looked into it.
Yeah. So there are a bunch of big name podcasts talking about this week, and they're actually like John Favreau was asking earlier this week on the Bulwark, why are there not more people like getting riled up about Nipplegate? You guys haven't heard about Nipplegate?
Starting calling it Nipplegate right off the bat. Maybe think of a little better term, but okay.
So
we'll go with it.
So I'm gonna do a little quick research in the background.
Yeah, but why Nipplegate? Why is it called Nipplegate?
Because I think the book that you're referring to is going to reference a claim. If it's by the same author, I think it is. Do you know who the author is?
No, I don't know where I heard this on.
So there
Facebook,
were
I'm not giving any credibility.
Yeah. There were Situation Room meetings from high-level staffers, including Susie Wiles, J.D. Vance, FBI Director Kash Patel, and his deputy, Pam Bondi.
I mentioned that because
Attorney General.
There's 2 or 3 of them who have been dismissed and now have a reason to put out these tapes.
Right. So as part of the emails that were released in the Epstein files dump, even though they tried their best to keep Trump's name out of it as much as possible, as part of that, there were emails that came out that talked about Trump like abusing a young girl's nipples.
Okay, I remember this part. Yeah, I heard about this. Why? Okay, Yes, that's part of it.
But here's the thing, though.
Yes.
The saucy part of this is that J.D. Vance, his position was, well, let's just release the Nipplegate stuff because all the rest of it is so bad anyway. Everyone already knows that he raped E. Jean Carroll, that he's a fraudster, that he does X, Y, and Z and all this shit. So, like, this is just another thing. It'll just blow over. That was J.D. Vance's stance.
In the Situation Room when they're having these, this is what we think is going to be in this book.
Right.
Well,
Okay.
most old white MAGA dudes aren't going to freak out about that. Where they might freak out over being sodomized with a tent stake and having a 9-year-old boy kick it up your rectum.
Yet another thing that's come out in recent months. How much of this can we believe? How much of it is real? How much is not? With AI, with all those things, how do we know any of it's true anymore?
If it's being discussed in the Situation Room by the president's top advisors, I'm going to go ahead and say that that's true.
Well, that's my I'm asking is how do we know that's credible? That this whoever has this secret tape.
That's a good question.
Unless it is like Pam Bondi and she comes out and says, "F you, motherfuckers! You fired me. Like I recorded your asses to cover my own ass. Haha." Like unless she actually comes out and says it, or somebody else who was in that room, the actual person that was doing the recording, how do we believe any of it? Is my question. And I'm not trying to, I would love to believe it all. I want it to happen.
We should be skeptical.
Yeah,
right?
because they literally. They went to the situation where we knew that was a thing that happened.
We should demand evidence of this. This is a hot saucy scandal, but it's a piece published by New York Times.
Right, that's what it is. Yep.
Yep. And Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swan, which are very respected journalists,
right?
Despite what fucking Trump and his idiots cronies say,
right?
But there was a White House freakout over this particular story.
Well, I mean. Look at some of the stuff that has happened or it's been reported here in the last 6 months. There was there towards the beginning of the year there was the supposed yelling and screaming throughout the White House that could be heard through open windows.
Oh, I don't remember that. Yeah.
And then there was the audio that was never really determined whether or not it was real. They could never determine the source, but it sounds like Trump, and he's basically like talking about the Epstein files, and he's like, start a war. I don't care what we have to do. We need to bury this.
When you go to Marjorie Taylor Greene, completely disassociating herself from them because of this exact issue after meeting with him.
And seeing the files.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's enough. There's enough smoke.
I just want to add to this that Snopes fact-checked this, right? And Snopes isn't the be-all, end-all fact-check resource, as I've discovered.
Yeah.
But the claim that in December 2025, the U.S. Department of Justice released a document related to the case of the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein that alleged that President Donald Trump said a young female had pert nipples. This is true.
But that's nothing to do with the Situation Room conversation.
No,
this says that you're saying 2025 that was released that was in there.
No, that's when the Epstein Act, the Epstein File Production Act that was pushed through Congress.
Right.
So this was part of that release that came because of that piece of legislation.
Right.
That was the first batch of documents, first tranche of documents in December 25. Because of that release, they had that Situation Room meeting to discuss that incident.
You're saying that's when it happened.
That's when it happened. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey. I mean, at this point, nothing's surprising. I want to see the people behind it actually come out and say they're the ones putting it out there. Because until we have that, MAGA's not going to believe it. And even then, MAGA still won't believe it.
I don't think it's going to matter.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter. But it'd be nice to have people actually, if you're going to do that, Pam Bondi, stand up for it. If you want to really be the hero here, actually be the fucking hero. Don't just secretly leak freaking.
That's my thing, man. They're a bunch of spineless cowards.
Yeah.
Are they though? They might actually be. They might actually. I have to honestly say, if I was in their position, I'd probably be holding on to this stuff a little bit for leverage to potentially avoid jail time.
But that's what I'm saying. Go to jail. Look what you did to our country.
Do you want me to read the court document excerpt?
No, you're good. I trust you. I think we beat this one a little bit.
Well, it's a little bit more than that.
The court. What do you mean court document?
Where this statement comes from, pert nipples.
Well, that's the price. So here's the thing. Nipplegate. I don't really care about the nipples. I care about the fact that they had a meeting in the Situation Room where it's reserved for a war, right? Like,
right.
To secretly subvert the American public in a law that just got passed that Trump signed. That's the part I care about. The nipple shit, I don't care what the content was.
Well,
I do. It matters.
It was directly relevant.
But they're calling it Nipplegate because they're trying to push it on the nipples. Like, oh, what he talked about was bad. That's not the issue here, though. The issue is covering up the Epstein files.
Yes,
illegally.
Yes and no. Yes and no.
I don't give a shit. We know he rapes people. We know he's a bad person. That's no information to me. What pisses me off is he's subverting American law. What people want with intention. That's what pisses me off. If we keep focusing on the nipples, we lose the point to me. And I just want to point that out because that's what people keep talking about out in public. And I'm like, it's not about the nipples, people. It's a big deal, but it's about them breaking the fucking law to cover it up.
The only thing I'll add to that is the nipples were allegedly abused at Jeffrey Epstein's house.
Shocker.
We'll get more views with that quote.
They looked incredibly painful as they were red and swollen. I remember wincing when I looked at them. I also know she had sexual relations with Trump at Jeffrey's New York mansion on regular occasions, as I once met Jen for coffee just before she was going to meet Trump and Epstein together at his mansion.
Kellen wants the clicks. That's what's going on here. He just wants people to click on the Facebook. Yeah, do your thing. I'm with it. Yeah, I'm pissed about them breaking the law.
Donald Trump liked flicking and sucking her nipples until
God.
they were raw. Nipplegate, man.
Nipple, we're going to get clicks.
Why are people not talking about this? This is the fucking president of the United States, man. He's abusing a young girl.
No, I agree.
At Epstein's mansion in New York.
We already know this. It's not new.
Yeah,
That's what I'm getting
I think everybody's fatigued about that.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody is just writing him off as, he's a creep.
I want cuffs, dude. I said this 4 years ago.
The
guy
cuffs.
is broken.
We got cuffs.
Did he actually get cuffed?
Yes, and he got fucking booked and had a mugshot and
I didn't
everything.
know he had cuffs on, though.
And he was fucking convicted of 34 felonies and then weaseled his way out.
Well, he won the presidency, and then they couldn't.
He convinced enough people that the cuffs and the conviction and the prosecution were persecution.
Right.
That it was all vindictive and that it was all part of, I am somebody who stands for you, the lesser person, and they can't, remember what he was saying? To get to you, they have to come through me, or they're trying to get to you, but I stand in your way. Remember all this shit from the campaign trail in 2024? Yeah. That was the fucking message that he sent, and there were a bunch of idiots that bought that.
Right.
And now here we are. Here we are with a president accused of this bullshit. And everything fucking else, and he's painting over the goddamn reflecting pool, and he's starting wars, and he's falling asleep in fucking cabinet meetings.
Right.
Every time you reference that, I think of that video of that lady being interviewed about gas prices, where she's like, "Yeah, I voted for him 3 times because apparently I'm a fucking idiot."
Oh, that was a good one. Yeah. Apparently I'm a fucking idiot because I didn't see it coming. Yeah, that was great. That was just like 2 months ago.
Yeah, that was right after the war started.
Yeah.
But here we are, man.
Here we are.
Here we are.
So I want to go back one more before we wrap up here. I want to go back to Iran for a moment because I've heard a lot of talk shows, a lot of podcasts talk about this war, talk about the deal, talk about how we've wasted so much money, $300 billion supposedly in this payout to them to reconstruct stuff, talking about how we didn't get a nuclear deal with this MOU and all this kind of crap, right? It's all important. Don't get me wrong. But what no one's talking about, maybe, as far as I can tell, is the fact we spent, how much did you say earlier in war? How many bombs and planes were destroyed? How many dollars did we spend on this war?
So the number that the Department of Defense gave to Congress, which is bullshit, just like a month and a half ago.
You think it's low?
Oh, way low.
Okay, what'd they give him?
The $30 billion.
$30 billion. Okay, so right there's a number. Okay.
Yeah. It's at least twice that much.
Right. So,
because they're lying about the number of bases that were destroyed, munitions spent, aircraft destroyed.
Right.
All of that is being whitewashed.
Right.
So if you're a rational human being, you have to understand that number is probably north of $90 billion.
Okay, so $90 billion.
Just in military expenses.
So why does that make you mad?
I'm sorry. Why
Legit question. Why does that make you mad that they spent $90 billion?
Because we didn't get anything out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you think it's a waste of money?
Complete waste of money.
Okay, they don't. Let me tell you why. Because
Who's
that $90 billion, Trump.
Okay.
$90 billion went into our economy, to the military industrial complex. Money went to
No.
Where you make the bombs at, dude?
So first off, the 90 billion does not go.
Who do you pay?
It doesn't go right into the economy because all of that shit is like.
Yeah, but okay, hold on, back up. Just work with me for a second. Okay.
Right.
I get what you're saying. We're gonna get super technical as you always do, Kellen, but work with me for a moment. Okay. 90 billion. You have a low economy. The economy's going bad. What do? You start a fucking war. Because guess who gets paid? Rockwell Collins, Boeing. Who are all that? Give me other ones. BlackRock. Keep going. Give me some.
Palantir.
Sure. Yeah.
Palantir is the newest one.
They're the newest one, right? I mean, I feel like we're 20 years out of context here now suddenly, but this is what you do when you have a bad economy. You start a war.
Sure.
Because it creates jobs. It does.
No, it doesn't.
It absolutely does.
It doesn't create new jobs. And in fact, the way that we're going because of companies like Palantir are these companies are highly efficient in cutting jobs.
Sure. It creates. Sorry, let me rephrase.
Those are robotic. Yeah, so those are robotic.
This is the problem
munitions.
when I have an expert in all this shit as one of my
those
co-hosts.
Are robotic munitions.
Right. It creates a boost to the economy. It doesn't necessarily help jobs, but it definitely helps stock market in those companies.
Yes, it helps stock prices,
which everybody looks at, and that's what they use as their measuring stick incorrectly on whether or not we have a healthy economy, right?
Yeah, and not just in the U.S., but broadly speaking. So if you go look at some of the like Germany right now is building a fucking army. Okay, I just want to put an exclamation point around that because Germany since World War II has not had an army. Because the whole entire world was like, Germany, you can't have an army because you fucked everything up.
Right.
No, seriously.
No, I agree.
That was a fucking thing, man.
Hold on.
And now all of a sudden, Germany's like, I'm going to field the biggest goddamn army the world has ever seen. And all of those German defense contractors are raking the dough.
That's the key.
Raking it in, Mike.
And this is the part we've come back. It's been our main theme of our entire season. This is all about corruption. And never forget that. We can bring up any moral high ground we want to take. We can talk about how unethical he is and what they're doing is bad for our country, how it's violating our Constitution, all this kind of stuff. The bottom line, every single time, it's about money. And don't you think for a second that those corporations weren't in his ear and those war hawks weren't pushing him to go to war in Iran?
Oh, absolutely.
Because that is a shitload of money that is going to those companies right now.
But I'm going to make it even more simple, and I think more in line with what our listeners see it as.
Sure.
Is why is it that one man can unilaterally make the decision to spend that much money on a military exercise, war, whatever the fuck you want to call it, that really had no justification, but yet when we start talking about allocating $1 billion for education or healthcare or cancer research or whatever other fucking good thing actually benefits the country, it's debated endlessly in Congress, and we get told we don't have the money for that.
There you go. There's Jacob.
Sorry, I was researching stock prices of German defense contractors. Here's some shit. Okay, you ready for this, Mike?
Well, did you hear what Jacob was saying?
I did.
Okay,
I did.
Okay.
But I just to add context onto this, because your whole point here, Mike, is these defense contractors are raking in the dough.
Yeah.
So you're exactly so. Airbus SE makes a fuck ton of aerospace products and whatnot. In let's say 2012, their stock price was $28.
Right.
It is $187 today.
Yep.
Okay. Rheinmetall, which is they exclusively produce German munitions, German hardware, German tanks. Okay. In 2024, no, even 2023, their stock price was $286. It's $1,200 today. Okay. These defense contractors, and these are Germans that I'm pulling up here because I'm telling you the German military industrial complex has fired itself the fuck up.
Right.
And is literally building a gigantic military right now, preparing for World War III.
Right. So
the United States has contracts with
Rheinmetall and Airbus.
This is the key.
We buy Airbus planes.
Yeah, we have to make that connection though, because just because they're building up, of course they're building up. They're seeing us as a threat. I would too, right?
Rheinmetall, we do not purchase from. Rheinmetall is not a company that the U.S.
So let's focus on what Trump has control of. Do you have any of those companies?
Yeah, absolutely. You got to give me a second though. You guys.
I'm gonna go back to Jacob's point though. I think with what you were saying, Jacob. Give me that again real quick, and I have a point to counter it with.
It's basically the fact that we can't, our government can't ever decide on. We get told there's never enough money for the things that benefit everyday Americans.
Right.
But one guy can unilaterally spend $90 billion on a war.
Right. And I'm going to add to that just a little bit. It's not one guy. Congress at any point in time can stop this asshole.
Right.
Any point in time.
Anytime.
It's he's the face of it making those decisions, but this is definitely a group effort. It's lobbyists, it is Congress, it is a lot of donors to all these campaigns, mostly on the Republican side.
You're right, but at the end of the day, he's the one guy that signed off on sending them in.
And he is absolutely the one that has to be held accountable. But he doesn't know how to be held accountable. He doesn't ever do anything wrong according to him. Good God, I don't think he's ever taken blame for anything negative in his life.
Northrop Grumman.
Yeah, that's a biggie.
Northrop Grumman, when Obama left office, $247 stock price. Today it's $550.
What was it before the Iran war started?
Before the Iran war started?
Yeah.
It's been kind of hovering. It's been kind of hovering there. Stagnant.
Yeah. Okay. So it didn't go up a whole lot. I'd be curious.
Not because of the Iran war. No.
Yeah. That's what I'd be curious to see how much of these jumped. And then we've also talked about this as a show and people documented it.
But
we keep on having deals.
It's not just the Iran war, though. It's the proposed defense. If you remember this, a proposed defense budget way before the Iran war.
Right. And we had Department of War switch where we called the Department of War instead of Department of Defense. Yeah.
But their budget was like 900 and some billion.
Right.
And all of a sudden, the Trump administration comes in and says, we're going to spend $1.5 trillion. Where do you think the other $600 billion is going to go? It's going to go to Northrop Grumman and Boeing. And
exactly, right. Yeah. That's the key there.
Lockheed Martin and all those companies. Yeah.
And that will turn around and boost the economy, quote unquote, boost the economy.
It won't boost the economy. It'll boost their stock price.
Exactly. Which is, we know is not really helping people, but it definitely helps the GDP.
90% of stocks are owned by, this is a rough statistic, but 90% of the stock market is owned by the top 10% of wealth in America.
Right.
So it's not going to boost the economy. It's going to boost the pockets of rich people.
Right. But I think that sort of answers your question, Jacob. That's why they're willing to let that slide. They're willing to have that because they're all making money off it.
Well,
Congress
we
is
know why, but I think that's the question that Americans are asking right now.
Right.
Why the fuck? Why?
Yeah. Why are you using our tax money to create this artificial economy that is violent and bad in order to enrich you guys' pocketbooks while you fuck us over?
But I'll also bring this back to local. It does have an economic impact. Granted, it's not just because of the Iran war. The Ukrainian war has a lot to do with it as well. But we wouldn't be having the investment that we would be having in our ammunition production facility that's 20 miles down the road.
Right.
That is expected to bring in a lot of jobs to this region. And that becomes a little bit of a political liability. You can't exactly come out against that and then all of a sudden be anti-war.
Right. It's a social piece that, this is all about money, and everyone that tries to tell you it's about something else, they're not wrong. Those pieces are involved. It's not one or the other. It's not binary, right? But
this war in Iran started with Trump saying, we need to protect the Iranian people, we need regime change, and we need to get them out from under the rule of the Ayatollah.
Okay. None of that has happened.
None of that is in this fucking MOU, is going to be in the deal that they sign on Friday, is going to be in any deal that it has absolutely nothing to do with freedom or democracy in Iran.
Right.
It has nothing to do with stopping their missile stockpile because none of that is in there. And quite frankly, I don't think it has anything to do with nukes either because there's none of that shit in there. It's all about, in 60 days, we might talk about further negotiations that could potentially lead to maybe an agreement about your nuclear program later on down the road.
Well, and it comes back to what you said at the top of this, is that Trump's backed into a corner. He knows he doesn't have any way out of this.
There is no way out of this.
Maybe.
He knows it.
Maybe. Everybody keeps saying Trump just lost the war.
Well, he's floating this idea because he wants to see, are people going to be able to swallow $300 billion?
But here's the thing. This is what I'm getting at. He doesn't care. It's not his money.
You're right. He doesn't give a fuck.
He just made a shitload of money in the stock market.
Over and over, and all his buddies did, and he was floating around ideas.
Anyone that's walking around saying he just lost the war, he doesn't give a fuck about the war, people. He won. He made a shitload of money. He didn't give a shit about the nukes. He didn't give a shit about the kids. He didn't give a shit about a revolution or dictatorship or democracy. He didn't give a shit. He hasn't started from day one. He hasn't cared.
This motherfucker
all about money.
This motherfucker made 3,900 stock trades in the first quarter of 2026.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to put that in context, there are professional Wall Street traders who, over the lifetime of their 30-year career, don't make 3,900 trades. He did it in 3 months.
So if you're out there saying Trump just lost and got a shitty deal and didn't give it a bond, he really doesn't care. He's laughing his ass off as he's milking in the stocks. That's all it is.
And his kids, his at least one of, maybe both of them have, Jessica just chimed in with this. Yeah. His kids have a giant contract to build drones for the Department of Defense. They got a big ass contract in a company that they invest in. They don't do anything for that company other than giving them money. They've invested in that company, and they said, we'll invest in you, and we'll go get you this awesome contract with the Department of Defense because that'll quadruple the money we invested in you.
So that actually is, we have a great question. Randolph writes on this, is like, he didn't ask the question. He says they should all be in front of a military tribunal for treason. And that's my question to you guys. This is clearly a grift. This is clearly corruption.
100%.
There is going to be proof that this is corruption. There already is. You see it. It's pretty obvious. But as this ends, when this is all over, and we find out that this war was really about money.
Mike, we do this all the time, man.
But do we take them to court?
You would ask me this all the time, like 6 years ago. Oh my God, we've been doing this so long. You would ask me this like 4 or 5 years ago. You were like, does this end with us getting justice? Does this end with him?
Show me the cuffs.
Right. Show me the cuffs. And I used to tell you, yes.
Yes, like you did. You still trusted and believed in the system.
Believed in the institutions. I thought that the institutions would hold.
You're a good Canadian American.
Well, I'm a good political scientist.
That's true.
I'm a good political scientist who believes in institutions and believes in the Constitution. And that belief is wavering. I don't know. I really don't know. I would have, like I said, 3, 4, 5 years ago, I was telling you constantly, yes, he's going to get his ass hauled in front of a jury. He did. He did.
Yeah, he really did.
He did. And he was convicted. And then before he got sentenced, he got elected again. Because there were enough idiots to vote for a fucking convicted fraudster and rapist and all the other shit, pile it on, incompetent asshole. And all of a sudden, no, my trust in institutions is completely gone because he's stacked the federal courts. The head of the DOJ is literally his personal fucking lawyer.
Right.
The fucking lawyer who defended him against those fraud charges is the current attorney general. That's all I need to say is no, I don't think we're heading to a place where, because the only way that happens. And the other part of this that is like, I think, unspoken through all of this is how incredibly pissed off I am at the Democratic Party. And why are they not out there just constantly going at this nonstop? And I see some of them do it. And maybe they're keeping their powder dry till the midterms, right? A big blue
But that's
wave.
what we think every time.
But that's exactly right. Exactly. So that's what we think every time. They're keeping their powder dry till the midterms, and then we can see subpoena and subpoena and subpoena and investigation, and that's what we do need.
Right.
I'm going to go darker than that.
Please do. We're there.
So I'm gonna say this with a disclaimer. Should this be evidence in a future legal case? I am in no way advocating political violence, but I think that the United States has reached a point that the only way that you change this is to make those in government afraid of their electorate.
That is some dark shit there, Jacob.
Some French Revolution type shit. That's the only way that you bring this dumpster fire to an end.
See, I agree. I have a different tactic. I think I want to try before we do that.
Before we roll out the guillotines?
Yeah, before we roll out the guillotines. So we're not going to quite go full MAGA January 6th yet at all for any FBI listening right now. We already had our conversations last weekend. I think we should pull off a Franklin Roosevelt situation We just tax the fucks out of the rich. Just tax the shit out
No,
of them.
that definitely
Get power,
needs to
tax
happen.
them, and just take their fucking power away. That's what it is.
That's the source of power right now.
100%.
Is the oligarchy in this country.
Yeah.
Well, I get so tired of having this argument with people who, if they have a decent 401k and they've invested wisely, maybe they'll have $1 million when they retire. But otherwise, they're never going to be millionaires.
That's the dream.
And I am so tired of arguing with these people who say, well, Elon Musk shouldn't have to pay billions of dollars in taxes.
The fuck he should. He's a trillionaire. The fuck he should.
You pay 25 to 30% of your taxes of
Why
what you
shouldn't
make
he?
every year in taxes. You don't think he should have to pay 25 to 30%?
Right. The
of
absolute
his
value
income?
doesn't fucking matter. It's the percentage. Just like the rest of us. You
And
pay
frankly,
a percentage.
he's not doing any extra work. That's the thing. He just has more money and he can invest that in other companies where other people do the work and he makes the profit off
Right.
it. That's
And-
all it is.
And the reason he's able
why
to
should he not get his ass? Why shouldn't it be a progressive tax where he's 70%?
Well, the reason he's able to avoid this is because it's on capital gains.
Right.
So he can say, well, 95% of my wealth is because I own these stocks. And because those stocks increase in value, it's not my fault. Right. And so that's the same view that a lot of other traders have, traders traders have, is we shouldn't have
Tomato.
yeah. We shouldn't have capital gains tax on money that we're gaining on that's unrealized, right? There's a difference between realized and unrealized gains. Right?
He hasn't sold it.
Right. That's exactly right. So then the point becomes I pay taxes when I sell those stocks.
Sure.
So that's what his argument
But what he
is.
does instead, he still uses the money. That's the problem. He'll take a loan out against that stock.
That's where I was going.
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
That's how the rich assholes do this. Is they borrow against their stock portfolio,
Right.
so that they don't have to, and then they just pay it back with the accrued value of their stock portfolio because it all goes up because the market keeps going up
At a rate that's less than the market's going up.
right.
But see,
they
here's
should make
why
money
this
off it.
here's why this doesn't resonate in rural America. Because guess what?
None of us have the ability to fucking do that.
No. That's how agribusiness operates.
Right. On borrowed dollars that's borrowed against assets that you can then write off.
Talk to a farmer about capital gains tax, and they will give you an earful.
Before tax season hits, they will tell you they go fucking buy tractors and trucks and assets and new implements and all the shit.
And when they get operating loans every year,
Right.
that's what they're doing is they're hedging a bet against their unrealized assets.
Future unrealized assets.
That's why farmers vote Republican. When you wonder why it is that farmers vote Republican, that's why.
That's why the corruption message doesn't work in rural America, is because they see this and they say unrealized gains aren't real gains. Because
Well, that's why
I understand
not
that.
the corruption message, the tax message.
The tax message, right?
Tax message, yeah.
Right.
They figured out a loophole. Not the farmers are doing it because they don't have much choice. They have to
Well, and
buy
farmers,
seed, right?
unless they're corporate ag, small
Right.
time farmers aren't making billions off of this.
Right.
I mean, they might make their money back at the end of the year. Who knows?
That's the difference, right?
You know, I mean, they could lose their farm. I mean, they're gambling essentially.
Right.
These guys are more like they're taking a weekend trip to the casino.
That is a better description of what Elon is doing versus what my father-in-law is doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, he's using the loophole created for farmers,
Right.
basically, on capital gains taxes. That's when Grassley voted for it again, 3 years ago, whenever he did it. He talked heavily about how important it is to farmers, but what he's really doing is protecting his billionaire
Right.
campaign fund.
Yes, it is a boon to farmers, but yes, it's a boon to Elon Musk.
Oh, and the boon's an understatement.
Right.
Yeah, and Elon's the far extreme example. This is what millionaires do. This is what people that have $10 million in the bank do
Right.
with extra money.
Right.
Farmers have this built in because they need to buy seed at the beginning of the year.
Right.
And they
Jeff
can't afford it.
Bezos takes out the loan against his stock portfolio to pay for his wedding, not
Right.
not his seeds.
Right. Or his trip to fucking space.
Right.
Or whatever it is.
Right. Right. With Katy Perry.
Yeah. Yeah. How are we doing? Anything else, Kellen, you got on the agenda for us today?
No.
Production, any new clips you want to show or anything like that?
We can go through these again. These are pretty solid clips.
Sweet.
This is Cash leading the investigation of the algae bloom.
The Banana Republic right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Is hunting for Jacob.
That would
Dodds.
have been better if he would have had like a beer in his hand or something.
Yeah, right? Like a fifth of vodka or something. I don't
Tall
know.
boy of Molson.
Hag Seth walking it up to him,
JD
handing it to him.
negotiating the $300 billion deal with the algae blooms to relocate to Florida.
I like the John Barron account poster there in the background.
Yeah. Account buys, sells, buys again. John Barron. Who knows who that is?
It's been an episode of Three Real White Guys podcast. Thank you all for joining us today. We will see y'all next week.
National math scores are slipping, but we're better than ever at division. No, something about this isn't adding up. Every day is a new battle, trying to keep our ass in the saddle. Now they're rounding us up like cattle in a truck. What the fuck? They're high